You are listening to Practical and Woo by Mindset and Manifest. My name is Eden, and I invite you to embark on a journey with me to explore the practical and spiritual edges of the unknown for the purpose of allowing you to embody and empower yourself uniquely as you are, and to intentionally create and live a life of freedom and fulfillment. Each week, I'm going to discuss topics such as energetics, reality creation, manifestation, astrology, tarot, human design, and more to help empower you to live beyond perceived limitations and to practically design your life so it feels like absolute magic every step of the way. Let's dive in. Hello, divine soul. I'm feeling called to jump straight into today's episode. Just like the fool we explored from the major arcana, who courageously jumps off the ledge into the vast expansion of potential. Speaking of the fool, I thought it might be fun to explore the next major arcana archetype today as part of Practical and Woo's tarot series. So if you missed the exploration of our beloved friend the Fool, you can feel free to tune into episode 19 at your leisure. Without further ado, let's meet the superb, alluring, the mystical magician. When you think of magic, what comes to mind for you? For some, magic refers to all things hocus pocus. For others, it's exclusively an activity reserved for children's birthday parties or weddings. To me, magic is the stuff that miracles are made of. Magic has this tendency to look and feel differently to everyone. Its perception depends on the lens you're wearing when you witness it, your experience, your values, and ultimately, your mindset shapes your relationship with magic. It also depends on the scope and scale of the magic you're perceiving. Are you perceiving it as a sleight of hand skill or as a common denominator of all that exists? What do you allow yourself to believe? How do you personally define magic? For me, magic is real, it's practical, it's exciting, exuberant, larger than life. Magic feels tangible and intangible at the same time. It's paradoxical and yet wildly supportive. It's not something to be coveted, and yet it can bestow luxuries and gifts beyond wildest imagination. Magic is inspiring to so many people, and we can see glimpses of this inspiration through tropes and stories told of witches and wizards, enchanted forests, and cursed spindles. What's most interesting is that the relationship you choose to have with magic, whether enchanted or cursed, is up to you based on the relationship you have with yourself, the values you hold dear, and your perception of your own innate divinity. Do you believe the world is always happening to you? Do you try to hold on to any semblance of control over your finances, your time, how other people move through your life? My guess is probably yes, at least to some degree or another, because we all have a tendency to do that as humans in this complicated culture we have set up for ourselves. It can feel like the power to live happily exists in the brute force that we take to our lives, demanding that everything needs to look and feel a certain way. You may have come to think, it must be a sunny day because when it's rainy, I'm miserable. This person must come to my birthday party because if they don't, then that means they don't love me. If I'm not making $100,000 a year in my profession or business, then that means I failed and that I'm not valuable. But is any of that true? The rain has not come to wreak havoc on your day. It's come to nourish the flora and fauna, to give you expansive gardens to bask within, and fields to yield delicious food to fill your belly. The perception that we have of ourselves and our lives defines our relationship to magic, defines whether magic feels enchanting or exhausting, and defines our creative power and potential. The other day, I was driving in Midtown Toronto, and the sky started to hail large frozen pellets upon my car. A symphony of sounds filled my car as each pellet of hail rhythmically made contact with its metal and glass. If you ask most people, they would likely not describe hail as a desirable bout of weather. And yet, I basked in the feeling of what felt like diamonds greeting me with their presence. It made me think, what if we valued hail as much as we valued diamonds? What could that look like? What would that feel like? What if this moment could be an incredibly great moment just because my imagination and appreciation allowed it to be? Being completely and safely drenched in diamonds from the sky as a gift, rather than receiving that moment as being pelted and harassed by the weather. The experience of magic depends on your relationship you have with it and with you. It's a choice you carry into every moment. So, what does this have to do with the magician archetype in the major arcana? I want to restate that. The magician archetype in the major arcana. Well, it's my intention to invite you to consider the major arcana and each archetype as codes to be contemplated by you and integrated within you. We are presently 2 cards into a 22 card category of tarot. 22 cards that together create a picture of a journey into the depths of the human experience, a journey into a glimpse of archetypal gifts and lessons, a journey into the mastery of your unique power in this world, the power and magic that holds the possibility of living a life that feels empowering, liberating, fulfilling, and uniquely yours. If you recall from episode 19, the Fool starts the major arcana off with the number 0, the nothingness that simultaneously holds the potential for everything. And so, as the second card of the major arcana, the magician is marked by the number 1, the seed of creation, the nothingness becoming physical for the first time. In the card, the magician is standing with one hand pointing up towards the heavens and one hand pointing down towards the earth. Clasped with the raised hand, the magician holds a double-ended candle, a mirror reflection of itself, to denote the concept as above, so below, or every action has an equal opposite reaction. In her book, 78 Degrees of Power, Rachel Pollack says that by opening himself up to the spirit, the magician draws spirit down into himself, and then that downward hand, like a lightning rod buried into the ground, runs the energy into the earth, into reality. The magician teaches us that the inception of our magic is found in our ability to hold spirit and bring it to earth. Hold the ethereal nature of spirit like a fabric that you then create physical, tangible, real things out of, to make manifest, to receive inspiration, and to create from it, to be breathed by spirit. Inspiritation. inspiration. Feeling inspired is such a precious physiological experience. It comes with a sense of elevation, a feeling of passion, a knowing, and a sense of meant to be. Feeling inspired is an incredible feeling, and it can feel tempting to try to hold onto a moment of inspiration forever. But the thing is, energy is meant to be in motion, and when it's prevented from moving, it stagnates. If you desire to answer the call of your own magician magic, it's integral to recognize your ability to hold the energy as it moves in motion, to be able to hold in confidence and encourage both the presence and absence of it. You can really only hold, have, and cultivate true magic in your life by allowing the substance and energy of it to naturally ebb and flow within you. The other feature I love about the Magician card that I'm feeling called to mention is that on the, let's call it the workshop table sitting in front of the magician, you can count each one of the four suits of the minor arcana. So there are swords, cups, wands, and pentacles. Each of these items symbolizes each of the mind, emotions, spirit, and the physical, as well as air, water, fire, and earth. The importance of the inclusion in this card is that it nods to the necessary tools required to make magic, to effectively become a magician. Finding balance with your mind and your emotions, allowing the receipt of spirit, and the ability to harness each of those things within your body so that you can create in the physical world. To allow yourself to make all of your creative endeavors and dreams appear magically in your physical reality. If you desire to embody your inner magician, then it's important to recognize a number of energetic principles. Firstly, if you desire to play in this way, it's imperative to find your personal belief in the ways magic appears to you and the belief you have in it. Knowing that every action has an opposite and equal reaction invites you to be mindful and intentional with any and all actions you choose to take in life. The choice to be purposeful and intentional while also recognizing that you get to select and wear the lenses through which you experience your world. Being a strong magician means being confident in your ability to hold magic when it's present, as well as trust in its boomerang effect when it's absent. Cultivating such inner faith and belief in yourself that you do not require external circumstances or the actions of others to justify or validate you or your potential. To balance between your mind and your emotions, to allow yourself to become inspired to create, to walk through life holding the gambit of your experience in reverence and self responsibility. The magician is reminding you of your innate power and is graciously offering you the gifts, tools, and lessons needed in order to master your reality. But the journey just begins. Until next time.